Christmas 1925, written by Brighton Terrier. Thomas the Tank Engine was as happy as he could be. The Fat Controller had given him a branch line, and he'd spent the last couple of months helping workmen lay more track to extend it into the hills. Starting from the river station, they built a viaduct, ran alongside the river, dug out a tunnel, and built a brand new station at Farquhar. Here, they even built a shed just for Thomas. The Blue Tank Engine was very proud of his work, and the passengers were always glad to see him. Getting up the valley has never been so reliable, they would say. He was a very happy little engine, and would always get excited to greet his new friends at all the stations. It seemed to him there was always something new to see. But there was one thing that got Thomas even more excited. It was nearly Christmas, and every engine on the railway was getting ready for the annual party held at the big station. I hope to see you there, Edward replied at the junction. I wouldn't miss it for anything, Thomas would reply. One frosty morning, Thomas was telling his friends about it. The sheds are decked with lights inside and out. Carolers can be heard singing from the station. A brass band plays, and best of all, the Christmas tree stands proud for all to see. That does sound exciting, replied Mrs. Kindly. You will tell us what it's like this year, won't you? Miss Kindly asked. Thomas beamed. Of course, I'm sure this year will be the best one yet. As he ran down the valley with his two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle, he couldn't help but daydream. Perhaps there'll be a Christmas feast this year. Tables and chairs, all in a neat row for the workmen, with a tree at one end and me at the other. Annie and Clarabelle giggled. You? Of course, Thomas protested. I should be the special guest. My branch is most important, don't you know? We do indeed, they replied. You'll be bringing us along, won't you? I wouldn't dream of leaving you behind, Thomas whistled. Soon he would talk nothing else to his friends, as the day grew closer and closer. At the top station, Thomas was still daydreaming. Could I have a wash down before we leave for the party? Thomas pleaded. It wouldn't be right to arrive all day. And it wouldn't be right to freeze our hands over with cold water, his driver chuckled. Just concentrate on your journeys. We've got a long way to go before the party, and the passengers are relying on us to get them home. Of course, Thomas said sheepishly. I'd forgotten that. Station master was telling me about the roads in the valley. He says they clog up with snow every year and people get stuck. Exactly. We're not going to let them down now, are we? No, we won't. Thomas whistled with spirit, and he worked hard for the rest of the week, bringing his passengers to their loved ones on time, every time. It was a few hours before the party, and snowflakes fell all around. Thomas managed to convince his driver and fireman to give him a quick rub-down before they left. Imagine what they would say if I arrived with dusty paint. They were almost ready to leave. Thomas was sorry to be leaving his friends for Christmas, but was excited to tell them all about the party. The snow was falling heavily by the time he backed onto Annie and Clarabelle. Suddenly the station master ran up. I'm afraid you're going nowhere. The valley's blocked with snow, and telephone lines are down. But what about the party? Can't we plough through it? The station master shook his head. All the snowplows were at the big station. I'm afraid you'll have to miss the party this year. He tipped his hat before trudging grimly away. Thomas was heartbroken. All his excitement had been snuffed as he rolled into his shed and his crew bedded him down for the night. They waved goodbye, but Thomas couldn't speak a word. He looked like he was going to cry. As the town clock struck midnight, Thomas went unhappily to sleep. The party at the big station came and went with rousing festivities. Thomas had missed it, alone and cold in his shed. It was just as quiet as it was before when he woke the next afternoon. The little engine yawned as he peered out the window. The snow had stopped falling, but seemed to swallow everything. Time passed slowly, and so Thomas closed his eyes once again. He wondered if anyone would come and save him. But his rest was interrupted. Outside, he could hear Christmas caroling. The sound got closer as the carolers paraded through the town and towards the station. I hope they have a better Christmas than I am having, Thomas thought. Suddenly, he heard a knocking on his shed door. Hello, Thomas began. Who's out there? The door flung open, and Thomas's eyes widened. Outside the shed were tables, chairs, people singing and laughing, and best of all a Christmas tree, festooned with lights. What's all this? Thomas asked in surprise. His driver spoke first. We told all your friends how you had missed the party, they all decided to throw one just for you. You've done so much for the valley, Mr. Kindly continued. It's only right we celebrate the most important engine on the whole railway, Mrs. Kindly finished. The rest of the crowd cheered in agreement. Thomas beamed brighter than the snow. He would have whistled in delight if he had the steam. Oh, thank you, Thomas cheered. I wish I could join you outside, but I am rather stuck in my shed, he blushed. Would you all like to join me? No need, the driver interjected. With a large open hand, he tied it around Thomas's coupling. Everyone grabbed hold of it, and with the driver keeping the brake off, they all heaved Thomas out of the shed and into the daylight. That afternoon he received presents, sang songs with his friends, and when the dusk had fallen, they all sat down for a large Christmas feast, with the blue engine at the head of the table. Thomas was sure in that moment that this truly was the best Christmas party he'd ever had.